Okay, besties, buckle up, because this particular TikTok tale doesn't just spill tea, it pours the entire kettle, refills it, and sets it back on the burner. We're talking about none other than Stephanie Jenkins, the self-proclaimed strong mom of the app who somehow turned real-life chaos into her entire brand. Now, before we dive in, let's set the scene. Months ago, Stephanie packed up her whole life, 5 kids, her partner Drew, and just about whatever could fit into a couple of suitcases, and moved into what she called a temporary stay.
Straight, all you want is to provide the life that your kids deserve, yet you won't go get a job. You and your man will not go get a job and provide that life that they deserve. You would rather live in a hotel with your 5 children. You knew prior to being evicted that you were going to be evicted. And what did you do? You ignore everybody. You ignore everyone telling you to prepare. And then you're getting mad at the resources that can't help you because you waited until the last minute to ask for help.
That temporary stay turned out to be a single motel room under the city's emergency housing program, operated by the Joint Office of Homeless Services. Translation, this isn't a vacation, it's emergency crisis housing. Full stop.
Okay, y'all, I'm serious about this one, and this kind of makes me a little sad. The whole Rosaria Jenkins thing really pisses me off, and it pisses me off that you have 2 bum, broke-ass people taking care of these sweet little innocent children.
Picture it, 1 small room, 2 beds total, 1 bathroom that's doing overtime, toys spilling out of corners, and the constant hum of traffic outside the paper-thin walls. 7 people trying to exist in one space that could barely fit 3 comfortably. The walls are tired, the air is heavy, and the whole place has a ticking expiration date, literally, because the motel, it's scheduled for demolition soon to make room for a 5-story apartment complex called Dumore. So you'd think, given all that, Stephanie would be upfront with what's going on, maybe even ask for support or share her experience with raw honesty. But nope, this is where the story dives into pure reality TV energy. Instead of embracing the reality, Stephanie's been doing Olympic-level gymnastics to deny what's right in front of everyone's eyes, that her family's living in a homeless shelter setup. As soon as people started calling out the obvious, Homegirl hit social media with a Facebook meltdown that lives rent-free in everyone's mind. The post was long, emotional, typo-riddled, and written entirely in caps lock, the universal language of defensive influencers. "We pay weekly. I'm not homeless," she insisted, claiming that because they're paying the motel, it doesn't count.
This time, Mom of the Year Stephanie is claiming that the motel that they live in is not a shelter and that they actually pay weekly for it. Now, either Stephanie doesn't realize we know where she lives or that we know how to use Google. As we can see here, the motel she's living with is being used as a homeless shelter. Not only that, but it's going to be demolished soon. But until then, it's being used by the Joint Office of Homeless Services in Portland. I think if Stephanie and Drew were actually paying for that motel room weekly, as she claims, it would be even worse because you're saying you are willingly going to pay for your kids to live in this tiny bedroom. Why not get 2 rooms that are connecting? I have a family of 6 with 4 children, and anytime we go on vacation, we always get a suite or 2 bedrooms. That's even just for a night. Stephanie, that's another reason why moms like us with large families look down on you. We would never force our children to live the lifestyle you're forcing your kids to. I won't even do it for 1 night when we're on vacation. I'm paying double the cost for that extra room? Yes, I will do that any day to ensure my kids are comfortable.
But the internet? Oh, honey, the internet is undefeated. Commenters were quick to clap back, pointing out that paying weekly for a shelter doesn't turn it into a penthouse. One person summed it up perfectly. It's like renting a lifeboat and calling it a yacht. And they weren't wrong.
Briefly, I wanted to talk a little bit about housing. I've seen a lot of people just assume that we're just trying to sit up in this motel for the rest of our lives. Your time frames are completely unrealistic. I've never seen anyone flip their life over in less than a year. And even a year is pretty good timing.
A lot of y'all are sending me this video, and a few of y'all have tagged me in it. Hi Stephanie, I'm Jazz. I was a single mom to 4 kids, emphasis on single. I was homeless, went to a hotel, went to a shelter, and then got my own house in a couple of months. I've gone through a few of your videos, and I'm seeing nothing but excuse after excuse as to why you and that grown man can't get your kids out of that situation. I worked the entire time. I didn't sit around waiting for the government to come save me. There is absolutely no excuse as to why one or both of you cannot go to work. Childcare shouldn't be an issue because he can watch them during the day and you can watch them at night. Sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone to better our lives for our children. And it just seems like you guys want to be so far up each other's asses that you guys don't want to get your shit together. And then when people have something to say about it, you think people are attacking you. It's just no way in hell a grown man would have been laying next to me and me and my children were in this situation. But if you like it, I love it. I would just prefer for you to come on here and just straight up be like, I don't trust this man by himself because I feel like he would cheat on me. And I put my feelings about this man over my children's well-being. Just say that, because all the excuses are crazy when you have single mothers that have done it. Me and my children have been in this house since October. The government assistance that I applied for housing just reached out to me last month, and I applied there when I first got in this homeless situation.
The situation got even juicier when fans noticed a pattern. Every time someone mentions her housing in the comments, Stephanie does what she always does. She makes one huge final post addressing it, insists she won't talk about it again, and then 3 days later, brings it up again. It's like a rerun with new typos. But under the sass and stubbornness, it's starting to look more sad than sassy. Because instead of channeling her energy into getting back on track, she's channeling it into convincing everyone she's already fine. She's performing stability instead of building it. Every live stream, every emotional post, every defensive caption feels like a digital shield against a truth she doesn't want to face.
And when you are making money from social media, you should be using that for your family. Not to go to Target, not to go shopping. When you are going through tough times, you should be handling that responsibly as a mother and as an adult. When people see you going to Target while you're living in a hotel, washing dishes in a fucking bathtub, yeah, people are gonna fucking talk about you. And at the end of the day, this woman chose to go live in a fucking hotel. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about me talking about this girl. She literally chose to live in a hotel instead of going to her mother's house. I don't give a fuck what her mom done did. It clearly wasn't that bad if she can't tell us what the fuck it is. Like, be so for real. You chose to put your children in a little ass hotel room, an even smaller place that they just came from, instead of taking them to your mother's house, where I'm sure they would have had plenty of room. Any mother that chooses homelessness instead of going in with family, that's pure denial that y'all are defending this shit, and it's sick.
And poor Drew, he's there in the background trying to hold the family together, while Stephanie fights comment sections like they're courtroom battles. The kids, 5 of them, are living in that cramped room while their mom tries to polish their lives for TikTok. It's heartbreaking, but it's also the perfect example of something deeper, when your need to save face becomes stronger than your need to find solid ground. And what's worse is that the property itself has a literal countdown on it. Once that wrecking crew pulls up, their last sense of shelter is gone. Yet Stephanie still logs on every week like nothing's wrong, insisting that everything's under control. Spoiler alert, it's not. The clock's ticking, the motel's going, and her denial is hanging by a thread. And besties, the internet has thoughts. Comment sections everywhere are filled with theories. Some people think she's too in deep to admit the truth, others think it's pure pride, and a few are saying she's addicted to the attention the drama brings. One gossip page even called her the queen of delusion with a do not disturb sign. Savage, but not entirely inaccurate. Still, Stephanie keeps posting, keeps defending, and keeps pretending that everything's fine while her whole situation unravels in real time. And honestly, watching it play out feels like watching a slow-motion lifestyle collapse with Wi-Fi. So now the question is, when that demolition day hits and the cameras stop rolling, will she finally face reality or try to live stream the wrecking ball? Because this story isn't just sad, it's symbolic. One woman trying so hard to control the narrative that she's forgetting to control the outcome. And as always, the internet is watching, screenshots ready, waiting for the next twist in the Motel Diaries, the Stephanie Jenkins edition. And that's the tea, besties, the motel saga we didn't see coming. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell before the next plot twist drops, because this story is far from over.